at Pitman High School. We've got starters for both teams. Mentioned Keegan Cohan and Marcus Flagg, two of the big returners from last year for Gloucester. Pitman will now get introduced, led by head coach Ron Myers. They went 21-7 last year, and well, it's going to be a good matchup between two teams that no less than 5 years ago were big rivals in the Tri-County Conference, but when Gloucester moved to the Colonial just before the pandemic in 2020, a lot of things changed, and this rivalry kind of went out with it. But the starting lineup for Pitman with Ron Myers, we'll listen in to the public address announcer here at the Rob Woodell Gym.
Senior number 13, Jake Ashland. At third, senior number 2, Oliver Spear. At guard, junior number 20, Panthers Christopher. Junior number 0, Jay Craig. And the guard, senior number 4, Lucas Razzie.
That's your starting five presented by Harper Driving School. We've got 32 minutes of South Jersey Group 1 basketball tonight. Gloucester and Pitman. Pitman will be on the left side of your screen with the black jerseys that they've worn for oh so long and their orange and white numbers and accents. Gloucester in their road whites with their yellow and navy blue accents. Again, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Jake Clark of Rowan University. Damian Waiters on the production this evening, just a tip after 7 p.m. as fans starting to file in on the student and fan side for Gloucester and Pitman. Both teams 1-1, ready to go in a small school matchup on a windy Friday night outdoors. We're underway. Marcus Flagg takes this one up for Gloucester on the first possession of the night. Gloucester on the left wing, moving this one around, shuffling it around a little bit. It's over to number 11, Xavier DePoter, the freshman, as a pull-up jumper is good. And Marcus Flagg pulls down the first basket of the night, 2-0 Lions.
Really good ball movement there by Gloucester to get things started. A lot of hands on that ball in the first possession.
Pitman moving out to the right side. We're going to have a travel called as the basket was attempted by number 2 for Pitman, Oliver Spire. JV game ran a little bit behind. It was a fun finish, 41-38 Gloucester. Ended with a three-point attempt at the buzzer. We have our first foul. Of course, we've got another game this weekend, Saturday at 12:30, Allentown at Delran in BCSL versus Colonial Valley play. So some Central Jersey action tomorrow at 12:30. Up. And no good. And, well, I say that because we do have a Pitman connection. Our good friend Ben Wilden will be on the call for that one, along with Matt Goldman of Montclair, William Patterson University. Cohan at the top of the key. He's guarded by number 0 in Jay Craig. Still all 5 starters on the floor for both sides. Is out to the right side for DePoter. So we mentioned the freshman starting for Gloucester, class of 2029. That one gets tipped away, and it's saved by Bowen Ashwin. JBA moves over to the right side. Now a open three is taken by the masked man, Lucas Razzie. And the Panthers take a 3-2 lead here early, just a minute and a half into this contest.
Good defense leading into easy offense there, and Razzie able to can the triple from the left wing.
Got fouled. This should be a three-point shot attempt here unless they call it on the floor. We will have 3 shots here for Keegan Cohan. Cohan, the recent commit to Lebanon Valley College in Pennsylvania, a member of the Mid-American Conference. It's called the MAC, but it's not the MAC that we would know from, Western Michigan, Ohio University, Kent State, Ball State. This is the different MAC in Division III. As Cohan makes his first 2. Gloucester takes a 4-3 lead.
Yeah, Cohan, a terrific player, averaging 18 points per game, already has 5 3-point makes on the year, and is 10th in points per game and 7th in career points entering the season in Gloucester history since 2013 when head coach Liam James took over.
Yeah, Liam James, he's a young head coach. He's only 36 years old, and he's been at it for a while here for Gloucester. He's one of those guys that's very down to earth. He's one of our favorite coaches to talk to just because he is he's a machine of information that can tell you anything that you want to know about Gloucester basketball history, the highs, the lows. I'll just say for transparency's sake, he sent Jake and I a media guide with stuff from points per game and rebounds per game of leaders of the past 10 seasons for Gloucester. I mean, it is a hive mind of information as Jake Craig, with a couple of stutter steps on the right wing, it's back out to Razzie, who has Pitman's only points of the night so far. He backs off his offense, and he'll reset the play on top of the Panther logo. He gets Pitman to get a screen, maybe took an extra step, didn't get the shot there, and Smith gets the rebound. Flag brings this one up for Gloucester.
And even though Spire doesn't get the shot to fall, it was good by Razzie to just slow things down and work for a better shot.
Shot missed on the three-point attempt. Now it's back out to DePoter, back to Cohan. Cohan, a multi-sport athlete for Pitman, also plays baseball in the spring. Gloucester won the 2024 South Jersey Group 1 Sectional Championship. Cohan was a starter on that team. And a nice little rebound shot. The ball kind of coughed up out of his hands, and then he was able to bring it back down and get the basket. He's up to 4 points, the senior guard here. But in a game that is going to involve a lot of three-point shooting, that ball skips away from Razzie, guarded by Cohan. Both lineups relatively small in size, which is something that you'll sometimes see in Group 1. I mean, I would argue that the only person that you wouldn't really call a guard on this Gloucester team is Jake Smith, and then you could make a case that all 5 players for Pitman are guards. I mean, yes, they'll have guys that are, lined up in the post, but they're going to be using their number one priority on defending the perimeter as Marcus Flagg knocks down a 3 right on cue, and it's a 9-3 6-point lead for the Lions.
Oh, and Flagg had a terrific game, was hot in the last one, a team-high 22 points against Gateway, and he's heating up here in the first.
Moving back out, top of the key, JBA is on that one, brings it back out to Razzie. Still all 5 starters on the floor for Pitman, and another 3. Razzie gets it to go. Using a lesson from Elijah Crispin, he cuts the lead down to 3. It's 9-6, and a quick basket, it looked like by DePoter, makes it 11-6.
We talked about it, a lot of threes going to be heaved up by both these teams.
I feel like I'm watching a Clayton game right now. We're getting run and gun offense. I can't even catch my breath. As now pulling up 3, bang! Marcus Flagg. He plants that flag. He's got 8 points in the first quarter, an 8-point lead. 2 triples for the senior Marcus Flagg, and it's an 8-point game once again. Pitman cut it down to 3, and now a 5-0 run for Gloucester. Out on the left wing, it's Razzie. Razzie leads Pitman scoring. He has all 6, and now he just knocked down another 3.
Again, a team that averages 9.5 three-point makes a game. Pitman on fire from beyond the arc.
Razzie with 9 points as that shot rattles out, and Razzie's going to pick up the rebound here. What can't he do? And Jake, you're a big diehard Sixers fan. He's got that Joel Embiid-style mask on.
Yeah, he
certainly to cover his nose.
He really does, and I mean, he's playing like he should be on the Sixers right now. Really hot from the outside.
Here comes Jake Bowen Ashwin at the top of the key. Spinning around, using that pivot foot, now finds a pass through traffic, catches a 3 off the mark. This could be a high-scoring game if it keeps like this. I mean, Gloucester and Pitman going back and forth. Gloucester's had the lead for most of the night. But here in the first 6 minutes, really solid basketball on both sides. A foul. DePoter went up. No basket, but we'll have 2 shots from the class of 2029 freshman Xavier DePoter. And Jake, I don't know about you. You're a couple months older than me. Hearing the words 2029 sends a shiver down my spine.
Yeah, it's certainly,
next year, the freshmen are going to be 2030.
I mean, it does make you feel old, but
I feel like my knees are cracking right now.
I definitely feel old, but I'll tell you what, something that doesn't get old is a pretty pass, and that's exactly what Marcus Flagg was able to give Xavier DePoter, who wasn't able to finish the shot, but he makes up for it. He makes both free throws.
16-9. Pitman will bring this one in. Got Wi-Fi issues. Trying to diagnose. No, that's not what I wanted. When it gives you that blue light, it says we're reconnected and we'll be back on. That says trying to reconnect. Minute 30 left to play in the first quarter. Cohan back over to the right side. Flagg is there. Smith, oh so close to that half-court line. On the floor now for Gloucester is number 24 in Will Rogers, as that three goes for Cohan. The three-point master, a high-scoring first quarter so far, 19 and 7 for Cohan. 19 total for the Lions. This one's underhand fed to Craig. Craig up, hucks it at the basket, couldn't go, and it's saved by number 21, Brandon Reddick. Flagg takes his time. We've got 45 seconds left in the first quarter here from the Rob Waddell Gymnasium, just a couple minutes away from Holman Pitman. As now on the right side, that ball got slapped out. DeChristopher, check that, Spire was the last one to touch it.
And the big difference right now in this game is Gloucester is doing an excellent job of knocking down their shots on the perimeter. So far, only Lucas Razzie has been able to hit a shot from the outside, and Pitman's had good passing. They just can't convert down low.
Jake Smith moving around the semicircle, guarded by Craig, takes a hop, gets fouled. And it looks like Smith in the shooting motion will go to the line for two.
Well, they call it on the floor,
they
it
will
looks
call it
like.
on the floor,
and
yeah.
Smith was very frustrated with that call. I guess it happened before he went up, maybe on the pump fake before he left the ground.
.15 seconds left, a 10-point lead for Gloucester. Flagg wanted to pass to Cohan, but that coverage got swallowed up as now Smith spins, fires, second chance, bobbles it up. There's 4 seconds. DeChristopher gets it out. Spire got it out, rather. And with 1.8 seconds left, we'll have one last stoppage before quarter time. Our good friend Michael Taylor in the house tonight for Gray Fox Sports rolled that one over to Lucas Razzie. They'll get an open heave, and he doesn't get it. Pitman didn't really get contested on that last shot of the quarter, but Gloucester is looking good with head coach Liam James, and how about Marcus Flagg and Keegan Cohan. 15 points between those two guards. We'll take a quick break. We've got a 10-point lead, 19-9 on the road. We'll be right back. Back in the second quarter, albeit hastily with this internet setup here. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Jake Clark here at the Rob Waddell Gym. As moving in is, excuse me, couldn't get the word out. Spire gets it, and Pitman's up over double digits. It is 19-11.
It's a good shot by Spire, driving downhill. He pulls up from the mid-range, and that's what Pitman needs a little bit more of. Somebody else to step up, and it gets their shots to go inside.
Smith up and in. Jake Smith with the basket. It's back to a 10-point lead. Pitman last year 21-7, led the Tri-County Classic Division, had, I wouldn't say an easy route to the division, as here comes the 3 off the mark, but they were up over Salem and Gloucester Catholic for their competition. They also had the run and gun offense with Clayton and Wildwood, who they lost to last night, and the 0-22 Salem Tech Chargers in that Classic Division. The Tri-County Conference, if you're unaware, it works in the way of there are 4 divisions. Cohan, 3. There's 2 small school divisions and there's 2 large school divisions. So your Kingsways, Washington Townships, Williamstowns, they all go in stuff like the Royal, and then your Group 3s like Timber Creek, Delsea, Highland, they're almost always in the Liberty. And of course, things change from sport to sport. We've got a foul on Gloucester here. And then your small schools like Pitman and Glassboro, Salem, Pennsgrove, Pennsville, they all go in either the Classic or the Diamond Division. So Glassboro, Woodstown, they're all in that regard. And with the exception of football, it's pretty much universal that the small schools and the big schools stay separate on those rosters. Making the shot that time was DeChristopher. He leads the team in scoring through 2 games, but it's 24-12. And he makes the second, 24-13. Out to the top. It's Rogers, back to Smith. Cohan pulls up, and another basket. Keegan Cohan really getting let loose tonight. He's got 12 points, and it's 26-13. Gloucester ahead.
That's a tough shot.
Early in the second.
Yeah, that's a tough shot there by Cohan. Gets it right on the pass, turns around from the right block on a fadeaway and is able to knock that one down. Not an easy shot, but he made it look easy right there for the 2 points.
So 26-13. And as it stands right now, I mean, Gloucester, this feels like a very similar game to what Haddon Township and Audubon were last night. That was a game where it was 27-13, Haddon Township going into the half. So we're already going to be higher scoring than that. But coming in is Razzie, up and in. How about that for a circus shot? He's got 11 points. And even though Pitman is down right now, he is the biggest bright spot on this Panthers team, as it's now 26-15. Ball comes out, and a backcourt violation on Cohan as he goes to retrieve it.
Well, I mean, for Pitman, it's been the Lucas Razzie show right now. As he talked about, 11 of their 15 total points. Somebody else has to step up for the Panthers, and I think they have to do a better job of trying to get the ball inside against this Gloucester Lions team.
Here comes a 3. No good there from number 23, our own Micah Frost. I don't think I've ever called a game that a DWB assistant is also playing in, but he's on the ground there. Goes out of bounds. Last touch by Gloucester, and we'll get, looks like we're going to get Gloucester ball here with Smith to inbound. Yeah, again, I sincerely apologize for the Wi-Fi issues. We've been going here for the past 3 seasons. I have never had an issue this bad, but it seems like it's the important games that always go wrong, because if you remember, we also covered the Elijah Crispin 1,000th point game back in 23 versus Salem, and it also had something like this, but we were able to get it fixed for the time for the important basket. But I think all of you know I hold our company and our broadcasts to a high standard. And if something isn't right, then we try to fix it. Got a timeout called. We'll take a quick break with just under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. 26-15, Pitman ahead. think we may be back. It's 26-15. You didn't miss much coming out of the timeout. And we had a foul as we came back for number 25 in Everald Dice. Again, if you haven't been reading the comments, we have been saving a local copy of the live stream with a clean video that doesn't require the internet. If this does not resolve by halftime, we will just abandon this and go straight to a tape delay to be uploaded tonight. Corner three, Cohan, good. Keegan Cohan, 15 points. And now spinning around as Pitman gets a pass out of bounds. Gloucester is just taking advantage of every Pitman mistake here. We talked about Pitman being a team that shoots a lot of threes. Well, Gloucester, they're beating them at their own game right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. And Cohan in the left corner, defender closes out, hand in his face. He's still able to knock it down. Looked like a double dribble there on Marcus Flagg, but regardless, it's been all Lions here on Panthers territory as they lead big on the scoreboard. And it's been thanks to a lot of three-point makes from beyond the arc.
29-15, Gloucester leads. Out on the left wing, Razzie to Bowen Ashwin. 3:30 to play in the half. Razzie, underhand feed to Spire. Back out to Craig. All five starters on the floor for Pitman as a three is good. By number 20, Parker to Christopher, the leading scorer. He's got 5 points, and it's a 11-point game, 29-18. Cohan. Now a corner or a left wing three deep from Cohan. He is known for taking some of those deep shots. Doesn't get it though.
And they say that basketball is a game of runs, and right now if Pitman can get a couple shots to drop and a couple stops on defense, they're right back in this game. There's still a whole lot of time. We haven't even hit halftime yet.
Here comes a three. That one's good. Talk about runs. Parker to Christopher, leading the freight train. And Pitman trying to claw back into this one. It's an 8-point game, 29-21, excuse me. As now on the left wing, it's Cohan back at the top of the key, backpedaling towards the Pitman bench. It's Smith. Pump fakes. Now moves inside, guarded by the Panthers, and that is good. Smith with his second basket of the night. He's got 4 points. It's back to a 10-point game. And again, if Gloucester can snuff out those Pitman runs, I don't know how much more of a prayer they'll have. I mean, it's a 10-point game with 2 minutes left in the half, so a lot can change. But Pitman, you know, I would say that their three-point shooting, I don't even think it's that bad. I think they've been hitting pretty good. It's just that when both teams are shooting well, the one team that shoots better than the other is going to be always the one that has the advantage. And right now, even though both teams are shooting well, Gloucester no doubt has the advantage.
Yeah, and again, we talked about both these teams average over 5 three-point makes per game in their 2 games played this year. The big difference right now is the fact that Gloucester's converting more inside, and you have to tip your cap to number 12, Jake Smith, who seems to be the biggest guy on the floor, and he just scored on the inside again for the Lions with a nice hop-step move in the lane. He's someone to keep an eye out on in the second half.
Pitman has it. Over to number 13 in Jake Bowen Ashwin. We have a foul. Foul is going to be on Pitman, on Lucas Razzie. I mean, almost every player in this lineup for Pitman is a multi-sport athlete. Jake Bowen Ashwin plays soccer. Lucas Razzie, also a soccer player. I believe Parker to Christopher plays baseball, something like that. But there's a lot of players in this small town that they don several different jerseys of the same colors during the seasons, and it's always nice to see that come together. I mean, even on the floor right now, Micah Frost, he's a soccer player in the spring, in the fall, basketball player in the winter, and a baseball player in the spring. I don't know how he has time for DWB, but he does. And over on the left side, it's to Christopher, pulling up for 3, no good there. One-handed rebound, but unable to hang on to it. It's Jake Smith now. Cohan pulls back. Ooh, they're going to say he stepped out. Right on the baseline there as Cohan was attempting a pass to DePoter, but he kind of got caught up in the middle of it.
I think they've actually got a foul against Jake Bowen Ashwin, who was grabbing Cohan's jersey right before
he
might have stepped out.
It didn't look like a natural motion, and I didn't know if there was a tug or something like that, but you'd be right. Back out to Cohan, minute 5 to play in the half. Oh, slid on the floor there, able to hang on to it in the paint as it's back to Flag.
This has been a great defensive possession so far here for Pitman.
Pulling back on it, and Flag gets 10 points. A great 1-2 combo of Cohan and Flag. The two guards combined for 25 of Gloucester's 33 points as we'll have a foul, a push here. That will be the 4th against Gloucester. One more, and we'll have Pitman at the charity stripe, although not sure how much it'll do here with 40 seconds left in the half. Razzie to inbound underneath his basket. Bounce pass. They're going to say Gloucester touched it. It went off of Craig, but I think Cohan was a little bit too close for comfort. Razzie, nice little catch and shoot, but he kind of hucked it a little bit too quickly, and Pitman missed the shot. They're down by 12 with 30 seconds left in the half. Back over to Cohan, guarded by Razzie. Razzie leads Pitman scoring with 11. Cohan taking his time. This could be the last possession. As you know, Jersey has no shot clock, so you get to kind of dilly-dally a little bit. Although they did get the possession with 25 seconds left. This will be legal in college, too. They've got 8. Cohan guarded aggressively. He's got 5. Pulls up in double coverage, gets blocked, and they're not going to get anything. They'll stop it with 0.2 of a second left.
And so now you can't get a shot off because you can't shoot the ball.
The 3/10 rule.
So they've got to find a lob here.
Shot is waved off, and you're right there. Smith attempted it from the corner, didn't get anything there. And a dominant first half for Gloucester and a 3-point attack that was great on both sides. We'll be back in about 10 minutes, if at all. It's 33-21. Gloucester leads by 12 at the half. Welcome back to the third quarter and the second half here from Rob Waddell Gym. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Jake Clark on the call from Rowan, and Damian Waiters on the production. It's been a good first half for the Gloucester Lions, 33-21, 15 points for the guard Keegan Cohan, the commit to Lebanon Valley College. And, well, I'll tell you, an interesting connection that I learned, Keegan Cohan is also going to the same college that Jake Bowen Ashwin is going to go to, except Bowen Ashwin is committed for golf. Meanwhile, Cohan is committed for basketball. So it's a little bit different, but they'll that's a small college in PA. They'll certainly cross paths. But, Jake, your thoughts on the first half so far?
I think the big thing that stands out right now that Gloucester's doing well that Pitman could improve upon is the play inside the three-point line. Both teams have been able to knock down tough shots from the perimeter, but right now I look at the big difference maker has been number 12, Jake Smith, who coming into this game has had a double-double in both of his games played. He might be on pace for that here tonight, and he's been terrific, not only scoring the ball inside, but rebounding it as well.
Cohan out. Moving in now for Smith, who gets fouled. Basket is waved off and a travel call. Thought we were going to get a charity stripe visit, but instead he gets fouled. And it's 33-21 here as Razzie brings this one up. 11 points for Lucas Razzie. We did confirm as well at the halftime break that he is wearing this mask because of a broken nose. So it's not like he has a, you know, it's not like it's a sprain or anything or anything other than just a broken nose that he's using to protect himself there, which, I mean, hey, well, you got to do what you got to do to play in this sport, and we're a small roster. You know, Jake, you were talking with Ron Myers, and he listed 8 players, and he said if anybody else plays, then something has gone tragically wrong. And this is what happens when you've got a small roster. I mean, Pitman, funny enough, they also field a freshman team, but the roster size here for Ron Myers and his program, definitely a little bit different than we've had in previous years.
Yeah, not only Ron Myers, but I have to give a shout out to one of the assistant coaches for Pitman in Jason Shivers, who used to be over at my alma mater, one of my former teachers at Sterling High School. Certainly a great guy, and it was good to catch up with him and, you know, hoping for the best for the Panthers this season.
And also the son of Grant Shivers, who was the longtime athletic director here for about 11 years before retiring last year. He was also the athletic director for a long time at Woodbury. 34-21, Smith went 1 for 2 at the line, and then Pitman down the other way missed a shot there. Out on the left wing, it's number 10 in Cohan, or excuse me, number 11 on the floor, Nate St. John. Right now for Gloucester, it's Smith, Cohan, Flagg, DePoter, and St. John. For Pitman, it's DeChristopher, Spire, Razzie, Craig, and Bowen Ashwin. The original 5 starters. Here gets a pick from Razzie, pulls up for 3, no good. Coming in quickly, though, is JBA, and Bowen Ashwin. He may be committed for golf, but that was a sweet pick right there and a sweet basket to make it a 11-point game, 34-23.
A nice steal by Razzie. He's unable to get the three-point shot to go, but Bowen Ashwin was there to clean it up on the glass and get the second chance points.
Beautiful pass from Cohan. Smith goes up and in. 9 points for Jake Smith. And Gloucester running good with this one. I mean, listen, they're not running away. Pittman's keeping them in check for as long as they can, but at this time, I mean, Gloucester is looking like that they could, as long as they don't make any more mistakes, they could very well be on a way to a nice road win here and send Pitman to 1-2. As that ball gets spiked into the ground, it comes out. Spire now over to Razzie. Gets an open look from mid-range. From 15 out, didn't go. And now Gloucester will reset. 13-point lead, 36-23. Back over to St. John. Cohan resets at the top of the key. I mean, Gloucester, this entire second half is going to be a lot slower than it is in the first half because now, instead of attacking Pitman, they're going to be defending that lead. They're going to be defending that 13-point lead that they have as Smith from the right box doesn't go. St. John stepped out of bounds. His right foot went on the line. And Pitman will have possession with Razzie to inbound, 5:14 to play.
You don't want to take too much time off the clock if you're Gloucester because, again, all it takes is a couple of three-pointers and Pittman's right back in this game.
Jake Bowen Ashwin out to Craig. Now a rolling 3, didn't go. Sliding over to the left, and now Cohan, like a bull in a china shop, full speed ahead, gets fouled. And that will be a shooting foul. He'll go to the line for 2. The foul is called against Craig. And Pitman in a little bit of foul trouble here. Craig already up to 3 personal fouls in this game.
Well, for Cohan, an excellent job as the first free throw drops, but he's able to move out in transition quickly, uses good footwork to be able to split two defenders, and he's fouled in the act of shooting. Nice footwork to get himself to the line.
17 points for Keegan Cohan. By the way, the schedule coming up for DWB, we're back on the air tomorrow in the afternoon. It's a 12:30 start between the Allentown Redbirds and the Delran Bears in BCSL action. Matt Goldman of William Patterson will be on the call, along with Pitman student Ben Wilden. And then on Sunday, we travel back up to Central Jersey for the New Jersey Flag Football League Championship between the Rams and Titans at 10 a.m. from Steinert High School. Monday the 22nd, Jake, he'll be back on the call, play-by-play for Burlington City and Pennsauken. And then we close out our pre-Christmas slate with GCIT at Leap Academy in Camden. 1:45 tip on Tuesday, December the 23rd. Midway through quarter number 3 here at the Rob Waddell Gym in the heart of Gloucester County. Keegan Cohan leads the scoring of both teams with 17. Cohan's got an open look. He shoots from way downtown, but no good there. Trying to save it, Spire couldn't, and he touched it, so it's out of bounds.
The deep three-pointer right there from Cohan, and he's going to shoot a lot of those. Somebody that can spark it up from the outside.
St. John, corner 3. Rattles twice, can't go. Now it's back to DeChristopher. DeChristopher fades coast to coast, now tries to shoot through the traffic, doesn't go. The pass gets turned over, and now Flag with some crafty work. If you're Ron Myers, I think they got to call a timeout after this possession. I mean, they're down by 17 points. This team looks a little bit discombobulated right now. It would be in the best interest of Ron Myers to call a timeout after this possession. Doesn't go. And a foul. I mean, listen, only one timeout out of 10 has been used. Pitman used one in the first quarter, but they were only down by 11 at half. And right now, I mean, Gloucester's just on a hot, hot run. 40 points for them. They lead by, again, 17. Keegan Cohan with 17 points. Marcus Flagg with 12. Back over to the top of the key. Cohan to Smith on the right wing, guarded by Frost. Spinning around, couldn't get it there. Smith can't make the basket. Frost tries to tap it in, but his foot was on the ground when he did so. And Ron Myers giving his 2 cents on that play there. I mean, the big mistakes Pitman is making right now are mostly all fundamental. It's in the defense, and it's how they're defending Gloucester. Gloucester is going to shoot a lot of threes. So is Pitman. So if you're a team that shoots a lot of threes, put them in your shoes. How would you defend the perimeter? Take that application and apply it to Gloucester here. As that shot from the baseline continues to roll over the basket there from Spire. 3 minutes to play in the third. Gloucester 40, Pitman 23. And again, Gloucester is taking advantage of the pace of play right now as Smith moves inside over to Rettig. Gets a chance for a nice three. Smith gets the putback. No good on the basket, but he'll go to the line for 2.
And I think the big difference right now here in what has allowed Gloucester to be so good is not only the pace of play, but their shot selection. Their shot selection has been great. They've been moving the ball around, slowing things down, getting and working an open teammate. And I think for Pitman, the shot selection has been a little bit rushed, maybe trying to force a couple threes to try and go on a run and get back in this one. They've got to kind of slow things down, find the open man, and take the best shot available. Don't
And I mean, again, Smith, who's going to make 2 here, he's up over double digits now with 11 points. I don't want to be too critical because Pitman is a team that we love and they're a team that always welcomes us back. But you got to call a timeout. I mean, you've had 4 left. I understand you want to save them. You're down by 19 points. You have scored a grand total of 2 points in this quarter. You've got to get something going, and the best way to spark the team is for Ron Myers to bring everybody in and talk this out. This is the 3rd game with this squad together. You had almost all 5 starters from last year graduate. You had Greg Peterson. You had Elijah Crispin, who's now at the Perkiomen School in PA. You had Mike Fisichero, who's now playing overseas in Italy. And you've got a whole bunch of other guys who filled roles throughout the Pitman team that are no longer here. They walked in June. Now you've got to find a way to get this core back together after a rough loss versus Wildwood on Thursday and get these guys back going. Good news is for Pitman, though, they did get 2 foul shots that time to go from Parker to Christopher, the leading scorer for Pitman through these first 2 games, as Smith will get fouled again on the way up. Pitman only has 3 scorers tonight. Razzie with 11, DeChristopher with 10, and Bowen Ashwin with 4. Craig and Spire still looking for their first baskets out of Pitman's starting 5.
Well, and that's your big problem right there, is the offense seemingly is one-dimensional. And right now, I think for Gloucester, I mean, you could argue they're scoring a lot with Marcus Flagg, Keegan Cohan, and at the line, Jake Smith. But right now, Pitman has no answer for the play inside from Smith, and the perimeter shots from Flagg and Cohan keep falling, and that's why the deficit for the Panthers is as large as it is.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because nobody on the bench has scored for either team. Every score, every bucket tonight has been from a starter, as Razzie can't get that shot to go. Second chance is good by Craig, and right on cue, he gets his first basket, 43-27. But again, I mean, Gloucester's playing really well. Pitman in the first half, they didn't play that badly either. So when both teams are shooting well, it's going to come down to who's shooting better than the other guy. And Gloucester took advantage of Pitman's mistakes, and they've been running with it all throughout the third quarter. As Smith feeds out over to DePoter, who's now double guarded by Frost and DeChristopher. Here comes Cohan again from his own area code, and we've got a foul as the ball came down. I think Cohan's going to get fouled here. No, it's going to be on DePoter. So right now on the floor for Pitman is Frost, Keaton Libby, number 32, Nolan Russell, and then DeChristopher and Razzie. So only 2 starters on the floor for Pitman right now as they're going with a bit of a shift change here. Razzie, corner 3, short. Rebounded by Flagg. 1:30 to play in the third. Gloucester up big. Moving in, Flagg all alone, and it takes a victory lap. And Liam James calls a timeout, his first. Well, Gloucester, they have had a fantastic third quarter. This feels a lot like Haddon Township Audubon from last night. The Lions lead by 18. We'll take a quick break. Pitman's student section in full force on this Friday night. As our camera froze for a second there. There we go. Hey, it's a Friday night, 7 o'clock tip. These 2 teams pretty close to each other, and as we mentioned in the open, these 2 teams used to be bitter rivals in the Tri-County Conference in 2019. The 2 conferences, the Tri-County and the Colonial, made a 1-for-1 swap. Gloucester went to the Colonial. Overbrook went from the Colonial to the Tri-County. As this one's heaved up, Cohan got a tip on it. Now it's all the way down the other end. Marcus Flagg goes up and in.
He probably won't get credited for an assist with that, but Keegan Cohan
might as well be. You know,
beautiful tip there to create the steal, and Flagg all alone ran it down.
And Parker DeChristopher gets the 3.
Pitman's going to need a whole lot more of that and then some to try and claw their way back to Christopher with a big shot.
Cohan on the left wing, 45 seconds left. 17-point lead. Cohan up and in, another tough shot. He's had so many of those tonight. 19 points for a guy that, as you mentioned, Jake, averaged 18 points per game last year. And now with 30 seconds left, an open look. Here comes our guy, DWB producer Micah Frost with a 3-point bucket. I can get a little bit extra excited for one of our guys. 49-33 as he makes that basket out on the left side. 15 seconds left. Now up, Flagg couldn't go. Rebound by Frost, 8 seconds left. Coming up, Frost all alone in front of the bench. He deflects it, can't get it. Gloucester takes over, Reddick has it. The shot will not count as Marcus Flagg's half-court heave goes unanswered. Pitman got a little bit of a strike, but we'll see how the last 8 minutes fare, as Gloucester will have 8 minutes to defend a 16-point lead. It's the Lions 49 and the Panthers 33 right after this. Fourth quarter ready to go. It's a 16-point lead for Gloucester as we come back here from the Rob Waddell Gymnasium. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Jake Clark, as we've got a good game on our hands. This will be inbounded by Parker to Christopher here on this, well, we're about a week away from Christmas. And de Christopher gets a travel called after the pass from Razzie. I mean, I don't think even Pitman's doing a lot of things wrong. I think Gloucester is really outmatching them today, and I think that this is going to be the start of a very good season for the Lions. And I could be wrong, but last year the Colonial Patriot Division was a top and bottom split of otherworldly proportions as this one goes out. Now it's Cohan. He pulls up. 3! Keegan Cohan, 22 points as the Lebanon Valley commit hits that one from the right wing. He's up to 5 threes. And now here comes another return. Lucas Razzie matches Cohan's contest with a 3 of his own. 52-36.
Anything you can do, I can do better right there as Razzie tries to challenge Cohan. But right now, again, slow pace of play for Gloucester. Pitman's going to have to get aggressive on the defensive end and go on a run to try and claw themselves back into it.
It's St. John over to Smith. A minute gone in the fourth. Moving in, St. John fouled, no basket. 52-36. Pitman had an impressive road win to open up the year versus Absegami.
Wow, they call that on the floor.
Oh, they called it on the floor, wow.
That's about the second or third time we've seen in this game somebody looked like they were going up in the shooting motion, and they call it on the floor.
They're calling it really strictly on the shooting motions then, as here comes Cohan. Got a great screen from Smith. Didn't go. Ball got bobbled up for DePoter. Now it's St. John. Over to Flag. Back to Cohan, top of the key.
Great rebound by the freshman, and DePoter creates a second chance now for Gloucester, and a little bit more time they can burn off here in the fourth quarter. And
again, with no shot clock, they are going to use as much of that time as they can afford to, as we've got an offensive foul. Smith knocked down Bowen Ashwin.
And that's huge because Jake Smith for Gloucester has really had his way inside the paint here tonight. And Bowen Ashwin setting his feet, taking the charge. Certainly not something you want to do, but something that the Panthers absolutely needed here in this fourth quarter.
Moving out, corner, 3, good. Got knocked down by Oliver Spire. His first points of the night. Pitman now has points from all 5 starters. 52-39. St. John at the top of the key, back to Flag. Flag drops it. Cohan going behind him. Flag takes it himself. Right hand lay. Gets in. Marcus Flag, 18 points. Gloucester's entire offense is running on 4 scores. 3 over double digits. Razzie gets that pass intercepted by Cohan. Now Razzie's got to defend Cohan, but he's burning out everybody. He's going to try to stop before he runs out of room. Back to the basket. Moves out to the baseline. Still, ball in his possession. Goes to Smith. Chucks it up and in. Jake Smith, 14 points. And we are back to a 17-point lead, 56-39. As again, Pitman beat a 24-win Absegami team on Tuesday night. It was a huge win. I mean, Absegami might have a down year this year. We're not exactly sure yet, but Absegami's still a Group 3. That's going to be a big win for the Panthers going forward. And, of course, last night they definitely kind of shocked everybody. They lost 49-45 to Wildwood. They only scored 13 points in the first half. They rebounded a little bit, and now Ron Myers calls a timeout with 5:05 left. Let's take a look. This is going to be a full timeout, so we will take a quick break. 5:05 to play, 56-39 Gloucester. That is a cool Letterman's jacket. Alcyon Speedway, the old track that is now home to Alcyon Park. We've mentioned the lore of that speedway a million times on these broadcasts when we cover Pitman, especially when we're at Alcyon Park, and the former 1/3 of a mile dirt track in Pitman that hosted several NASCAR races in the 40s and 50s. We've got a foul. We'll have some shooting here as Spire will go to the line for 2. We've got 5:01 to play in the fourth. Again, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Jake Clark on the call, Damian Waiters on the production. Even though you're not joining us live tonight, we are on tape delay. We'll make the best of it as we can. And, well, if you're watching this, then that means we got it up on time, right? 56-39. You know, I'm speaking to the future here. But, again, just to make it clear, I mean, I get very disappointed when things like this happen. We've had a rare amount of broadcasts that it happened to us last season, and we try to keep those issues to a minimum. But the Wi-Fi, that was out of our control. I have no idea why it was that bad, but we're going to try to gloss over it, and hopefully we'll have this fixed for the Pitman Holiday Tournament. If not, I mean, that's just an unfortunate business decision that we'll have to make. But it's 56-41, Cohan to Smith. Spire knocked down both free throws. As now pulling back, moving up, Cohan, corner 3, bang! Keegan Cohan with a laser 3 and a comeback by Bowen Ashwin. 25 points, Keegan Cohan. He matches Chase Martin from Monday's game at Bordentown for DWB's highest scorer of the year. 59-43. Firing St. John to Smith, guarded by Bowen Ashwin. 4:15 to play, fades him away. Would have been a great move if it counted, but that will go out of bounds with flag in the corner. Myers wanted a foul for the shoulder.
And you're seeing right now, I think the big difference that we highlighted in the open, the fact that this Gloucester team has all 3 of their leading scorers returning. Pitman's still trying to develop that chemistry. And you saw it right there. Flag made a beautiful pass to Cohan. He knocked down the 3-pointer. But on the other side of things, for Pitman, they were able to get an easy layup in transition. That's how they're going to have to get back into this game.
Well, I like the fact that Pitman works a lot in motion. They move quickly down the court when they need to get a basket, and it works out really well for them as here comes Razzie. They're a quick team. That is going to be need to applied in their next game. They play Clayton on the 27th, as that's a 3 that's no good. From the left wing, go through the legs of St. John. He's able to pick it up. So even if this is a loss for Pitman, as they go forward, on the 22nd they play Clayton, then they play Eastern. Going from playing Clayton with the run and gun offense to playing Eastern is a big case of whiplash. You're going to go from a really high-scoring game to a really low-scoring game fast. And Pitman is going to have to find a way to be versatile in that. I think they're going to build this offense around Parker to Christopher, and mostly because everybody else is seniors. Joey Zubert we should have mentioned it before, Joey Zubert was out of the lineup tonight, was not a game-time decision. He was just straight up out with an injury. But Razzie, Spire, and Bowen Ashwin and Craig are all seniors. The only other guy is DeChristopher, who's a junior. So you're only going to have 1 year with this core, and then in 2027, or in 2026 to 27, you're going to have another another core that you've got to develop. Flag with the basket. It's a 20-point game. We just haven't had the same luck with getting close games on DWV, but that'll change. Once we get into those conference games in January and February, we'll have some good ones. But right now, Gloucester is well on their way to a 2-1 record.
Well, and Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but the game you had last night was Audubon against Haddon Township. That's Gloucester's next opponent in Haddon Township, a Colonial Conference matchup.
We've got some loud applause for some of the new players on the floor. Unfortunately, remember, Jake, how you said when the coach mentioned if those players are on the floor, something's gone wrong? I think that we're at that territory now because we have a couple players that we don't have numbers for on this roster, so we'll try to make up for it as best as we can. 2:30 to play. Over to Frost. Frost inside the semicircle. That didn't go there. Gloucester also made several changes on the floor, as it's number 22, Donovan Darce, number 13, Leland Kidd, and now from the corner, looks like both teams have subbed out all of their starters. So here comes another 3 attempt, no good. Front iron going up. Rogers can't go, and now Frost with the rebound. 2 minutes to play. So Pitman has won 31-21. Here comes the 3. I think this kid's a fan favorite. Frost is going to fire that one off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Rogers. Gloucester's next matchup that's actually going to be a good one on Monday night. Gloucester versus Haddon Township, team that we covered on Thursday. Then they have a standalone game on Saturday versus Washington Township. Here comes a corner 3 from Darce. No good. Rebounded by Pitman's 14. Back to number 1. But 3 more games for Gloucester to close out the 2025 year. That 3 no good. Haddon Township, Washington Township, and Timber Creek. So with both teams having mostly subs, we'll talk about the execution at the end of this game, but Gloucester really just took the best opportunity that they could. They led it to half. That third quarter was the most pivotal, though, because that swallowed up any chance that Pitman had to win this game.
Yeah, it certainly did, and I think, again, the big thing that really sticks out to me was the play inside by Gloucester. They did a much better job of scoring around the rim inside the paint, and also their ability and their team chemistry. They were making good passes to free up their teammates, and it felt like in that third quarter, Pitman just rushed to try and get back into it and took some shots that they probably wish they could have back now. And as a result, I mean, the Lions lead over the Panthers by 20 with less than a minute to go here in the fourth. A big win here on the road for Gloucester.
Pitman plays Clayton on Monday, as we mentioned. They won that game 103-87 back this time last year. They've won all 5 of those last matchups with that run and gun offense. We should have Clayton versus Pitman scheduled for January 27th. And for our Gloucester friends, our next game with you will be on January 13th versus Paulsboro. Another great South Jersey Group 1 matchup. Frost has an open man in the near corner. He'll take it. 21, makes the 3. So it'll give them something, a little bit of a moral victory, but Gloucester can hold on to this one to go to 2-1 on the year, going into a pivotal South Jersey Group 1 matchup versus Haddon Township. We'll show that graphic real quick of that standing. You saw Audubon won the division, but then it was Gloucester and Haddon Township. The biggest success story from South Jersey is they're still chucking up threes. Rogers couldn't get there. One comes up with it, and that's the ball game. So I guess at the end of the day, they had a little bit of fun with it, but still a disappointing loss for Ron Myers and company, a team that only lost 7 games last year. They had a 21-7 record. Gloucester came into the road gym, and it was a beauty for the Gloucester Lions. Just like Haddon Township last night, they were just outmatching their home opponent. They played really well, and at the end of the day, Liam James gets to go home with a win.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge win for head coach Liam James and this Gloucester Lions boys basketball team coming in on the road very early in the season. And usually this is a time where teams try to find their identity. Well, Gloucester already knows their identity. Bringing back their leading scorers, the team chemistry was on display here tonight, and that's why they were able to get a huge win on the road against Pitman.
Yeah, Pitman, I don't think, again, I am a little bit harsh sometimes, but Pitman didn't play that badly. They shot a lot of threes. Both teams looked really in sync in the first half, but Gloucester was just doing a little bit better than them, and sometimes that's all it takes. Then Pitman started to go off the rails a little bit in the third quarter. I wasn't too pleased with the fact that I think Pitman should have called a timeout or two. I think they were trying to save the timeout in the event that they were going to get a run, but they didn't get that run. And you have to take at least one to talk with your guys. Tell them what's going on. Hey, how can we get this going? This is our third game as a crew together with all 5 starters graduating last year. It doesn't hurt to have a little bit more of a time to talk with your team. And that's the one flaw that I think really could have been changed. Other than that, I don't think anything else can really be fixed. I think Gloucester just shot the lights out tonight. I mean, Keegan Cohan had one of his best games we've seen in a while, but that's also typical Keegan Cohan. 25 points, a whole bunch of threes, and a lot of success at the end of the night. And that's something that is going to carry Gloucester really well. And that Monday night matchup versus Haddon Township, that is going to be fun because Haddon Township, we've already seen, is continuing their momentum from last year. Both teams have a very similar makeup, a very small roster, not a lot of true forwards, no true center. You're going to see a lot of threes, and that game is going to end with a high-scoring affair. But I'll tell you, Jake, I think my player of the game, undoubtedly, as we mentioned, Keegan Cohan, 25 points, 5 threes. Really can't get much better than what he was able to do for Gloucester tonight.
Yeah, it really couldn't. And again, I think the thing that really impressed me the most with Cohan's performance was his ability to move off the ball. Did a really nice job. You see a lot of players move with the ball in their hands, create their own shot. He did an excellent job of moving off the ball, having somebody pass him the ball, whether in the corner, on the wing, but also he did a good job of creating his own shot. And when you mix those two together and how hot he was shooting from beyond the arc, I mean, that's a dangerous mess for an opposing team. And unfortunately, Pitman had to try and figure it out. But Cohan, an excellent job, made a lot of tough shots from deep, and a well-deserved player of the game.
We'll interview him off the air in a moment, but that'll be all for us tonight on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Caleb Lane, Carson Rosso, and Fisher Gianotti. My producer, Damian Waiters, my color commentator, Jake Clark. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow for a Central Jersey matchup between the Allentown Redbirds and the Delran Bears. Final score tonight, Gloucester 63, Pitman 46 in a dominant road matchup. Have a good one, folks.